Greetings from Ecuador. It's a pleasure for me to participate in this conference. My name is Estefanía Vargas. The present research aims to identify the differences in child development in children with and without a history of maternal substances used in the gestational stage through the application of the Nelson-Ortiz child development abbreviated scale in a sample of children between 0 and 3 years of age in institutional care. Child development comprises a series of stages ranging from birth to adolescence. This research focuses on early childhood, a period from birth to 3 years of age, a factor that influences the development of some children in the maternal consumption of substances in the gestational stage, which generates difficulties that can mild or severe, even causes the neurocognitive deficit in many cases. The increase in drug use currently represents one of the largest-scale public health problems. According to a report by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, 19.5 million women aged 18 and overuse illicit drugs in previous age. The substances most consumed by the parents of children participating in the study are alcohol, cocaine, cannabis, caffeine, and volatile solvents, with a predominance of alcohol and cocaine intake. Each of these substances has a characteristic effect in the child's body, which may depend on the dose of consumption in the gestational stage. The use of psychoactive substances during pregnancies can be generated by the mother, father, or partners. Substance intake by the mother is crucial in pregnancy and the trigger for many problems. The study of the present investigation has a descriptive and comparative design of groups in children from 0 to 3 years old, with and without a history of mother consumption of substances in the gestational stage, where it seeks to know differences in the development of language, fine motor skills, thinking, and socializing. The type of research is non-experimental cross-sectional. For the sample, a probabilistic criterion was used through stratified sampling. The study was carried out in institutional care centers. 18 children with a history of substance use in the gestational stage and 18 without the condition. The following conclusion parameters were considered: boys and girls between 0 and 3 years of age in institutional care due to a situation of risk or abandonment. In total, there were 36 participating children. The strata considered in the study are minor with a history of maternal substances used at the gestational stage and minors without this history, which allow us to categorize the population into interest groups. Stratum 1, children with a history of consumption, children in institutional due to situation equal 44.4%. Institutionalized children due to abandonment equal 5.6%. Despite being considered abandoned children, it was possible to verify the existence of substances used in the gestational stage, thanks to the review of the child's history in the institution and specifically to the medical report, where these children were diagnosed with withdrawal syndrome neonatal. Stratum 2, children with no history of consumption, children in institutional care due to risk situation equal 30.6%. Institutionalized children due to abandonment 19.4%. This research was based on the interview technique and psychometric technique. The interview technique allowed the following data to be collected. An interview was conducted with the caregivers of the institutions to collect identification information of the children through the ADHOC Social Demographic File. An interview was applied with the social workers and each organization so that together with the researcher review the files of each child and collect data regarding the cost of institutional care, time of institutionalization, gestation age of the child, existence or not of the consumption maternal use of the substances in the gestational stage, role of the consumers, type of consumption, and type of use during the child's gestation. Substantially, an evaluation interview was conducted individually with each of the participants. For this research, an instrument was used, a measurement object called the Nelson-Ortiz Child Development Abbreviated Scale, which is valid and reliable, allowed to measure child development to later evaluate the data obtained in the application and establish results. This instrument aims to obtain a global and general assessment of 4 specific areas of child development, which are gross motor skills, adaptive fine motor skills, language, and social. Each of these contains 30 regions. This was created by Dr. Nelson Ortiz Pinilla in October 1991. The author relied on the Griffins, Grayson, Denver, Kent, Corman, and Scallon scales, and series counts to establish the items of each area. The application time varies between 15 to 20 minutes. Studies to assessment the psychometric characteristics have determined high reliability and validity. The instrument that was applied to identify the development of the children gave the results of 4 levels: alert, medium, high, and high. The alert level indicates the development of at risk, either due to biological and environmental factors. The average level reveals that the infant is without the norm. That is to say that its level of development is equal to its chronological age, and the medium, high, and high levels affirm that the development is within the norm and exceeds its chronological age. The global development in the group of children with and without a history of substance use in the gestational stage shows categorized in the alert, medium, and medium-high levels. The analyzed values are presented through frequencies F and percentages with the symbol %. The overall development of the group with a history of consumption has a higher percent of participants in alert levels compared to the non-consumption group. The medium and medium-high level is led by the greater number of children who belong to the group without a history of consumption. Therefore, the population in institutional care with a history of consumption has the greater deterioration in child development, since a large part of the population obtains figures that place the child below the norm. An analysis was carried out of the type of substances injected in the gestational stage by fathers and mothers, in addition to their relationship with the global development of the group of children with a history of consumption. The substances are alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, caffeine, and volatives. In each of them, there is evidence of global alert and medium development levels. Although the sample of the group with a history of consumption in 18 participants, there are parents who reported the intake of more than one substance at the same time. The most significant result indicate that the highest number of mothers of the children consume alcohol and cocaine, of which more than 50% of the participants are at the alert level. This is how Gonzalez and Martinez explain it, who state that there are repercussions of alcohol consumption, especially by the mother during pregnancy and childbirth. The most significant are delayed in the growth of the child, delayed in the psychomotor development, effects in the CAS, amongst others. This condition can vary, but those of consumption in the different stages of the gestation. However, its safe level of alcohol consumption during pregnancy has not been established. Ignomido and others report that alcohol contains an agent known as ethanol, which acts through the dual mechanism. It blocks NMDA glutamate receptors while excessively activating GABA receptors, causing apoptotic neurodegeneration, and with it a poor neuronal development with applications in the cognitive deficit. Regarding generational consumption caused by the father, the most commonly ingested substances are also alcohol and cocaine. The levels obtained by the children in global development are most alert and medium, the latter in the lower percentage. Through the analysis of variances with an ANOVA factor, the parental role of consumers in the gestational stage, mother, father, or partner, and the global development of children with a history of maternal substance use during the gestational stage were related. The analysis of variance with an ANOVA factor was carried out with the 18 participants with a story of maternal consumption of substances in the gestational stage. There are significant differences between the values, which allows determining that the consumer who influences in greater magnitude in the global development of the child is the consuming mother. Therefore, the consumption of the mother has a greater influence of the fetal formation of the child. According to Gutierrez and Jimenez, the consumption of psychoactive substances by the mother during pregnancy allows these substances to cross the placenta barrier and produce malformation or somatic and SAS damage, from mild to very severe. Drugs of abuse are capable of causing molecular and cellular changes that lead to alteration in neuronal migration, cell structure, neurotransmitter dynamics, and brain formation. These difficulties subsequently led to changes in behavior and cognition. The intake of substances by the mother is crucial in pregnancy and the trigger of many problems in the child's development. Finally, through the non-parametric man-weighted U-test, the comparative analysis of the levels of development was carried out in the areas gross motor, adaptive fine motors, hearing, language, social, personal, and global development of groups with a and without history of maternal substances used in the gestational stage. It is obtained that there are significant differences in the adaptive fine motors area. Additional, very significant differences are demonstrated in the area of language in the overall the development of children with and without a history of maternal substances during the gestational stage. Therefore, these values have allowed to verify the research hypotheses about the existence of significant differences in child development in the study groups, and two of the alternative hypotheses that indicates that substance use generates difference in the adaptive fine motors area and hearing the language area. According to Diaz, Matute, and Innocente, children exposed to psychoactive substances in the prenatal phase present a deficit in tasks related to fine motor speed and visual motor coordination. Children exposed to drugs, and especially ethyl alcohol in the gestational stage, shows a reduction in the hemispheric asymmetry, which alerts the performance of Brodmann's areas 21 and 22, which are related to language process. Thus, children with these characteristics have difficulty in naming and understanding words. A review of a study carried out by Koditiwaku indicates that there is a decrease in the total IQ, decreased information processing speed, language difficulties, word comprehension, naming ability, motor speed, and fine in the children exposed to alcohol in the prenatal stage. Therefore, the existence of alteration in areas of language and motor skills in children with a history of alcohol consumption in the gestational stage is overwhelming. According to Alcantú, Llurena, and Jimenez, in a longitudinal study, Liner's patterns were found that indicate that there are problems in the social area, infant interaction, social care, and aggressiveness control significantly associated with a level of prenatal exposure. In addition, this author reveals the existence of behavioral disorders due to the increased inhibitory control impossibility in the lack of development of fear and guilt of their behaviors, as these aspects are not considered as an object of study in this research. It would be interesting to generate new research in this regard and propose possible treatment to stimulate affected areas in children due to the injection of substances. Cocaine is a potentially addictive and harmful stimulant of humans. These systems can freely cross a placenta barrier where there is a maternal conception and results in alteration in the neuronal and glial organization. Conclusions. The current condition of child development in children aged from 0 to 3 years with and without a history of maternal substances use in the gestational stage and in a situation of foster care in institutions is not normative, since a large part of the population has alert levels in global development. However, the statistical values indicate that there is a greater deterioration in child development in children exposed to narcotic substances in the pregnant stage. In the analysis of the results, the substance that has the greatest deterioration in the infantile development of children with a history of maternal consumption in the gestational stage is the alcohol and consumption in mothers. According to the report of the Academy of Pediatrics on substance abuse in pregnancy by the mothers, alcohol continues to be the substance more consumed by mothers. Benke and Smith, 2013. This does not mean that the alcohol is the most harmful substance compared to the others, but it is in the study since it is the most common substance consumed by the mothers of the participants.